Hey y'all, welcome back. It's Trey, TreyMixes.com, and we are recording from an undisclosed location as we are in the process of moving. So if you hear any extra weird noises or anything, please excuse. But we are still wanting to make sure we get a video out, even during the move. Don't want to miss time with you guys. Want to be consistent. And so what we're going to do is we're going to start a multi-part series discussing drummer tracks in Logic, how to use them, how to mix them, how to manipulate, how to get into the nooks and crannies of these drummer tracks. And we just kind of want to get into it. I want to make it simple, make it easy, and make it better for you guys who use Logic, to get your music out, to write more stuff, and have more fun with it instead of always working with click tracks, etc. Now, excuses for me because this is for Logic Pro people only. Sorry, all my other DAW user friends, but this tutorial is just going to be for Logic folks because I don't know if your systems have the ability to do this or not. But we're going to work like this, and maybe you can still learn a lot because we're going to get into mixing drums later. But today we're just going to get into the start of it, some of the controls, some of the basics. So let's get right to it. Here I've started a brand new session in Logic, and it always pops up this dialog box where it asks you what kind of track you want to start your session with. So let's go ahead and click their special drummer. Ignore my output settings, as yours will probably not say this, but this is done and rigged the way it is so I can record audio and video for these screen captures. And we'll just keep it easy. You've got plenty of styles to start with. We'll put rock and keep it easy. And we want to open the library so we can get into what all these have to offer. Okay, here we are. We loaded in our first drummer track, and you'll see it opens up all these options. So as to not be too confusing, let's start at the very top left, and you've got your different types of drummers for each style of music, and each of these will have different pre-made beats. They come with different preset default kits, and you can hover over and see kind of what you may want them, what you may choose one for based on his style. Each one of these drummers is going to be a different style. So if you want punk rock, hard rock, classic rock, there you go. You can pick the whichever one you want. So I just like funk rock, so let's do that. And see, it changes our kit. Our drum kit instrument will be this smash kit. If we come over here and click on Anders, we have a heavy kit. So it changes the settings throughout. And you can customize. This is one of the newer features. You can now customize which kit you want this drummer to play with. Previously, you had to go through a whole changing of the instrument, changing of the kits itself. But now you could just, if you like these styles, but you want to use a different set of sounds, you can come over here, click drum kit, and grab which drum kit you want. All right. So here, let's see what it defaulted us to with Jesse, our funk rock drummer, and it pre-made a region for us. And if you want to keep looping out this region, you can, but let's not do that. Let's stick with just what we have. And when we highlight this region of pre-made drum pattern, it gives us these beat presets. It gives us this indicator on this grid of simple to complex, loud to soft. It has options for percussion, for our hi-hat patterns, our kick and snare patterns, the amount and complication of fills that you may want to have in just this section, the swing you may want to have in this section. And there's a details tab that has a push or pull feel to the drummer, whether you want more ghost notes on, say, the snare hits, and if you want to change how open or closed your hi-hat is. So there's a lot of customization here. Let's zoom in and just kind of see what happens. Let's listen to what it picked for us. All right, and down here at the end, you can kind of tell there's a fill. Okay, and that's our kit. That's the sound of this beat, and as you pick another beat, see how it changes? Let's see what this one sounds like. And another. So lots of variety. So let's just pick. Okay, that looks fairly complicated. And we got our puck here, our indicator on this grid, and it's kind of set between complex and loud. So let's see what moving this around will do for us. So it does exactly what it says it will. It will add more hits, more syncopated rhythms. As we move to complex, it will definitely be louder and dynamic or softer and dynamic. And this is real nifty for if you just want to make some quick selections and go with it. So we'll leave it kind of where the default is, and we'll move on to our next little section of controls. And this drum kit preset beat already has our cymbals selected for us versus hi-hat. So see right here, you just click on cymbals, click on hi-hat, and it will alternate for what you have. If you want to play toms instead of these and manipulate the toms to a greater degree, you can do that too. So we're going to leave it where it was on cymbals, and we're just going to move through our cymbal patterns and see how this changes. So you can see still using the crash here, the left crash, but we go from just doing kind of a rhythm ride on it to full-on hits. To bells. To a more eighth note pattern, to just smashing the crap out, just sticking the cymbal. So let's put it back on our second pattern. And let's turn on percussion. You can add tambourines. And as we move it up in the patterns, it comes from half notes, quarter notes, eighth notes. Same with, you got shakers. Or claps. That's pretty cool. Let's go back to our tambourine. We'll leave it on the eighth note. And we also have kick and snare patterns. And just like before, you can click and turn these off if you just want snares. You can turn the kick and snare off how you want, and we'll cycle through these patterns so you can get a feel for how they work. Alright, lots of different patterns, and then down here you got half time and double time. Cool. And same with the fill control, and you watch the region indicator as we turn the fills on and off. You could turn them completely off. So it only kind of adds and alternated at the end. Okay, but as we turn this up, you'll see it starts to add at different sections of the region, and they will become more complicated as well. Okay. And the swing is currently set to slightly swing on 16th notes, but if we change it to 8th. Okay, so you get kind of a feel for what each of these knobs does in the region. We'll check out our details, and then we'll move on to one last thing to demonstrate that we now kind of see kind of all the controls and how these operate. A feel is kind of how much you want your drummer to drag behind the beat or push the beat forward and be really aggressive with it. And I'll go back and forth here so you can hear the difference. It's just a kind of like when you write MIDI notes, it kind of slides them forward and back a little off the grid to give it a feel of more aggression or laid back smoothness. All right, with ghost notes, these are kind of the extra little hits that you'll feel from the snare, and we'll add more as we go. So you heard all those extra little snare stick drops? Those are ghost notes. Excellent. And we don't have the hi-hat selected, so let's select the hi-hat so that we can play with our last little meter here. And as you click automatic, it will alter the hi-hat based on the feel of how you operate your puck inside your grid. So that's just a quick overview of drummers, how to set up a track, how to pick the drummer you may want, how to select sounds, different kits you may want to use, and the basic controls for the regions. And just like any other region, we can copy and paste. And the second region, we can choose a whole new set of parameters, and it will automatically do that for us as we swap from one region to the next. So these controls are region dependent. So it's just that easy. That's a great way to get you started. Next time, we're going to come back. We're going to look at some more complicated things you can do with the regions and get into editing. And eventually, we'll get into mixing with these. For those of you guys who may or may not have access to drummers or have difficulty collaborating with others to get drum tracks that may be live. And these work great for demos. And they work great if you are tired of playing to click tracks. You can set one of these up and have the feel of the song you want already present, and then play to the drummer track, which is going to be metronome tight, and maintain the feel of the song. Thanks for your time. Head over to TreyMixes.com. If you found all this interesting or useful, subscribe to me, subscribe to the channel, get your free saturation ebook, and keep coming back for more. New video every week. Thanks very much. Y'all have a wonderful day.